And welcome down to ECU Football Stadium for this round one of the phase two of the 2020 WA NPL season. It's been a strange old season for more reasons than one, most notably the COVID-19 pandemic that has swept the world, that has led to this restructure. Both of these sides survived the first part of the season, in which the goal was really just to make that top six, so they will push on for the title. The bottom six fall by the wayside to play off for one spot in the top four cup. But both of these sides here today, the hosts Joondalup and the visitors John O'Reilly's Armadale, will have their eyes fixed firmly on fighting for the 2020 NPL title. Last time I was here 2 weeks ago, one of the most dramatic endings to an NPL game this season. A Harry Evans penalty ending Perth SC's title charge that relegated them to the bottom six. And then last week, almost equally dramatic final week with Bayswater missing out by goal difference, meaning that Armadale snuck into sixth spot, and because of that, their title hopes remain alive. Sebastian Stenkvist kicks us off for Armadale. They'll be wearing the black and red stripes a la AC Milan. The hosts in all red with the white shorts. Riley Warland with the ball in his hands, ready to throw it in. Last time these two sides met here, it was a victory for the visitors. Controversial and quite a soft penalty in truth set them on their way that day. They ended up scoring a couple more and getting over the line 3-1. As that one's cut out well by Shane Cassidy. And with a little bit of help from Tommy Hoff, he gets the ball back to his keeper, and ECU can start again. Just a loose pass down the line there from Riley Warland, but ECU, one of the surprise packages of the season. Some of the football they've played has been absolutely fantastic, leading to Coach Kenny Lowe a couple of weeks ago saying that they've just been bossing teams week in, week out. Hard to argue with the last few weeks when you've seen them play. They are certainly playing some wonderful stuff, and it's going to be a real test for Armadale here to replicate their victory that they took on their last visit, as Cassidy heads that one away. Stenkvist just getting into the back of him. ECU will take a free kick. Riley Warland will take it quickly. So for those that don't know, the points reset after that first round, or the first phase of the season. 11 games, each of the 12 sides played the other 11 once. And Armadale snuck in by goal difference. ECU a little further clear. They had a record of 6 wins, 1 draw and 4 losses. Armadale's 5 wins, 6 losses, just enough. One thing that really helped both these sides, and not a lot of draws. They either win or they lose. Charging out there is Cyril Sharrock. There's a collision inside the area. It goes to the defending team. Armadale can reset. I wonder if we'll get more penalty box drama today. It seems like we get it every time I'm up here at ECU Football Stadium. The points worth so much on days like today. A win and you're right up in the race for the title. A loss and you've got a lot of work to do. A bit of aerial ping pong started there by Samuel Riak, but Armadale through here. A chance is trying to roll it into the path of his teammate was Sara. Comes back to him and he Flicks it out to Harry Quigley, who just lobs one into the box. Headed away by Cassidy, Warland, and a free kick picked out for Joondalup. Cassidy takes. Across to Lowry. Interesting note, the formation here. Ethan Brooks starting up top, looking like he's going to be filling the role of a lone striker. They actually switched formation in one of the games I was here commentating earlier in the season, as just firing high and wide there is Armadale's number 20, Jakobs. Brooks has played a lot at wing back, and then when they needed a goal, they threw him up front and he looked a real threat. So having seen what he can do leading the line, it looks like Kenny Lowe is keen to give him a bit more of a chance to show what he can do. Hasn't had a touch of it just yet, but we'll see how he goes getting into the game. Jakobs overruns that one. Tries to win it back with the help of Stenkvist. They can't do so, and Shane Cassidy gets a bit of time to put his foot on the ball, survey the scene, rolls it out for Lowry. He's back inside and back to Cassidy. He looks long, capable of picking out those long passes, Shane Cassidy. Last time these two teams played, he picked out Ethan Brooks when he was playing at wing back. He squared it back in for Higgins to score. Riak under a bit of pressure, takes it and turns. He does well to hold off his man, and then plays it into the feet of Brooks, but he has it nipped away by Ali Nazari. Expect Brooks to drift wide, not just take it centrally. He likes getting in those wide areas with a bit of space to run. It'd be interesting to see just how central Kenny Lowe wants him today. It's a throw in by Warland, gets it back and looks to play Lowry. It was intercepted partially by Stenkvist, but Thomas Hoff was there to save the day for the hosts. Exchanges possession with his centre halves, and it's back out to Cassidy. Looking for Warland. On down the line. Finds Harry Evans. He was the hero last time they played here. That last minute penalty, a whole lot of controversy and a lot of drama that day. An indirect free kick given in the dying minutes, from which ball cleared off the line. The referee deemed to be off an arm. Controversy was whether or not it was shoulder or arm, but the penalty was given, and Harry Evans, who stepped off the bench, it was his first touch of the game, and his first touch of the game was his first goal of the season. As that ball cleared, and Lowry brings it down, wonderfully done. Just to cushion it and then take his second touch. Out to Bodnar, who has taken over that right back role from Ethan Brooks to allow the youngster to push forward. Bodnar's throw is loose, and Armadale can look to go forward here as Warland cuts it out just in front of Harry Quigley. And gets it out to Riak. Evans back to Warland. He's got Riak inside. He opts to play a little bit further, long switch to Lowry, and you can already see ECU looking to dominate possession in this game. Armadale haven't had much of a sniff so far. And there's a foul on Danny Hodgson, the team's leading scorer, with 8. Bit of a push and shove and a much ado about nothing, and ECU will get us started again. So, quick ball down the line, looking to get it back into the box. A shout for a handball on Ashwood, I think it was. Nothing doing for the referee. Riak does well there to nip in ahead of Stenkvist and take the ball. Bodnar mopping up. Cassidy loves to get his head up and carry the ball if no one comes to him and pick out a long pass. That's exactly what he does here. A little over the head of Brooks, but he has the pace to track it down. Brooks versus Nazari. Looks to stand him up and go past him, and he does just that. Left foot ball into the box is poor and cleared. Had a good start from the hosts here to this second phase of the 2020 season. Points at a premium. Walden looks in at Evans, who flicks it on and can't find a red shirt. Armadale can clear, and here they go. Chance for the visitors to get forward. They can't do so. Jacobs just carrying the ball into trouble, but they win it back quickly. Stenkvist looking to get in behind, timed his run perfectly, but the pass was never going to find him. Lowry cuts it out. A lazy pass inside there from, I think, Danny Hodgson. ECU throw. A few fiery characters here today in this Armadale side, none more so than the man himself, John O'Reilly, leading the charge. But they don't come much more fiery than the man in goals, number 99, Cyril Sharrock. He hasn't had much to do so far, but ECU will hope to test him as the match goes on. Warland to take the throw. Looking for Evans, has it taken away from him. Tommy Hoff puts a foot in, the ball spins nicely for Warland. He comes all the way back. Perkins has got a bit of a job to do, and he does it well. Spent a bit of time out with injury, Johnny Perkins. He's a bit of a fan favourite down here. Ponytail wearing goalkeeper. And Joseph Pollard, as a more than able deputy, the youngster stepped in and played quite well, but ECU will be glad to have JP back between the posts. So Evans looks to get it in. Here's Brooks. He only has Armadale shirts ahead of him, so he comes back to Riak. Riak's pass is loose, but he wins it back himself. Cassidy via Hoff to Lowry. Evans has found a bit of space on the left side. That ball's a wonderful ball over to him from the ECU centre half. He plays it against his opponent and it'll roll back out for a throw. Oh, Riak's ball back to Warland was a little overly fierce, and Warland did really well to just cushion that ball down with his head, but after he'd taken the sting out of it, he gave it away. Here's Sharrock. Long ball in the direction of Chad Nielsen. Cut out by Bodnar, and ECU look to go forward, play it over the line. It's been a side that I've been fortunate enough to see a few times this year, ECU, and you can really see the imprint that Kenny Lowe's had on this side. Got off to a fast start with a couple of wins in their first three, but then winless in their next four from between round 4 and round 7. 3 losses and a draw. It looked like the wheels were perhaps falling off. But if you listen to Kenny, aside from the 6-1 defeat at Sorrento, he reckons they've outplayed almost every team that they've come up against. I couldn't argue with that from the performances that I've seen. A highlight of them being a 3-2 win against Joondalup. But here's Armadale. One of the 4 sides that has beaten Joondalup this year. As Hodgson looks to play it out wide. finds a teammate who's ball back into the box as Hodgson had given up on it. And perhaps if he hadn't, he may have found himself with a tap-in at the back post. A tap-in maybe a little lenient. It would have still been a difficult finish for him as Lowry looks to step into midfield and play it wide for Warland. Back to Cassidy. Looks at the diagonal as he always does first before lowering his eyes and rolling it back to his partner Lowry. Here's Brooks. Chance to run. Chance to take on Zico, but Zico's slide tackle was perfectly executed and perfectly timed. Back out for a throw. Luke Bodnar seemed initially hesitant to come up and take the throw in, but as the fullback, that's what you'd expect. Riak does really well to get a foot in there and keep ECU on the attack. Such an important part of this ECU midfield, winning balls back and in now, in behind and a chance. Wonderful tackle. Just couldn't get the ball out of his feet there. And it was a perfectly timed tackle. ECU have a corner. There's Luke Bodnar, the fullback up there in the penalty area and just not able to pull the trigger, but shows the attacking intent that Kenny Lowe wants from his defenders. Comes out to Evans. He fires into an Armadale body and comes back out to Tommy Hoff, who looks back towards Perkins. Wide for Riak. Deputising it right back. He plays it down the line for Brooks. Brooks versus Zico again. Zico won the first round. Zico wins the second round. Good start for the Armadale number 23. We've already seen there Ethan Brooks drifting out very wide as I postulated he might. He's come out to the left a couple of times to take on Nazari, drifting out on the right there to try and get at Zico. No luck as of yet, but it only takes a moment. Irving looking to come in for the short ball, but Sharrock turns him away. Says, I'll thump this one down the touchline. He does just that now. Quite central in the end, actually. Hits Riak potentially on the arm. Don't know how much he knew about it. And sliding in and giving away the free kick on Nielsen was Hoff. Ashwood and Irving standing over it for Armadale. And Ashwood takes it quickly, just trying to catch them by surprise. It was a nice little routine by Armadale, just getting Zico to jog forward and reposition the ball as if he was going to strike it and then leaving it for his teammate. Certainly caught me by surprise. I think caught most people here by surprise, but thankfully for the hosts, it was high and wide. Cassidy again. For Hodgson, who wants to turn and take on Nazari. He does so there, inside and outside. Twists him in two and then gets to the byline, cuts it back, but he's furious with himself and kicks the Bright Advisors sponsored sign. Cassidy looks to just shepherd that one over the line against Stenkfist, and does very well. Experienced cool head at the back, number 16 for ECU, Shane Cassidy. With his centre-half partner Lowry now in for Hoff. Back to Cassidy. Evans leaves it for Wallen and he can run. He's got Quigley for company. So he plays it into the feet of Hodgson. Hodgson finds Higgins. Higgins fires and Sharrock sprawls and makes the save. Needs to get to the rebound quickly before Brooks, and he does well there. The Armadale shot stopper. As that long ball is over the head of everyone into the hands of Perkins, and Cassidy can start again. They are knocking on the door, Joondalup, but not finding a way through. Bodnar for Brooks. Brooks into the feet of Higgins. Back to Brooks. Loves a dribble, leaves it behind there, and eventually has it taken off him. Zico plays for Stenkvist. He had Jakobs making a overlapping run, not getting to him, and going to ground a little easily there, Chad Nelson, but winning a free kick. Probably enough contact there to warrant it. But one of my pet peeves when players go down and then grab the ball and do the referee's job for them. And Zico's ball is long in the direction of Jakobs over his head, as he's just nudged under it by Shane Cassidy. Just more experienced bodywork there in the heart of the ECU defence. Riak back for Cassidy. And they will be patient. They are a patient team, but when they flick the switch, they've got plenty of attacking threat. It's that one long onto the head of Sharrock. They've got Hodgson with 8 goals on the season. Higgins has 4. Really disappointing 2 weeks ago for ECU. That was the injury to Thomas Amphlett, who was just coming into a real purple patch of form. Scoring goals and went down with what looked like a pretty serious knee injury. He hasn't returned. As that ball into the box towards Brooks is just deflected clear and finds Chad Nielsen, who comes back to Zico, who just thumps it away. And you can just see there the pressure that ECU are applying. They keep possession, and then in the end Zico just had to kick it 50 yards down the field and allow the Armadale defence to step up to halfway. Here's Higgins, back for Cassidy. A lot of space out here on the left now as ECU look to drift over. Cassidy had Evans wide, he looked back inside, now he does decide to go to Harry Evans. His ball for Hodgson left him a lot to do. But he did well to just nip in before his opponent and win a free kick. Here's Higgins. Finds Evans and he'll want it back. Evans uses Higgins' run as a decoy and takes it into the box. Back to Hodgson, who can't keep his feet but does well to win the ball back. Sensational work from Danny Hodgson. Get it back to Tommy Hoff. And Joondalup continue to poke and prod. Can they find an opening? Warland for Higgins. Wants to flick it back round to the corner for his fullback, but Harry Quigley was there to cut it out. Riak confronted there, but wins in his team a throw. All the way back to Lowry. Back to Cassidy. Into the feet of Evans. Wallen overlapping. Hodgson just drifting in behind. Superb defending at the back there for Armadale, and Stenkvist looks to turn and go. He went in a little high on that one in the eyes of the referee. Certainly studs were raised, not a lot of contact, but endangering the safety of his opponent was the decision of the referee. And ECU regain possession again. Wonderful ball in behind to Evans, who just about gets a toe on it. Maybe there was no contact at all, but Sharrock was expecting it, came sliding out and off the feet of the goalkeeper and away. The early chances with Joondalup, but they have to be wary of this counter-attack. And here it is, a bit of space in between the lines for Armadale to attack. Here's Stenkvist. Back into the middle and out wide. Nielsen looking to get a ball in the box, takes a touch past his opponent into the path of Jakob, who has to opt out of it because Perkins had dived bravely on top. And here's Higgins. Coolly back to Cassidy. Hodgson has got a bit of space here against Nazari. Nazari just drops off as Higgins plays it back for Warland. Or Hodgson plays it back for Warland, rather. And Riak mops up and finds Lowry. All ECU at this stage. Here's Hoff. Just sending Jacobs for the paper and then playing Riak. Hodgson. He's got Warland outside him, cuts inside. Hodgson kills it! And a wonderful goal! Sharrock will want to have done better. He got a hand on it, but take nothing away from the strike. It was perfectly positioned by Danny Hodgson. That is his 9th goal of the season. His first in this second phase. And it gives ECU Joondalup the lead. Perfect start for the Jacks. They have dominated possession. They've dominated the ball, and now they're on the score sheet. Exactly what Kenny Lowe would have wanted to see when he arrived here today. The performance that they've put in. Long way to go, but it's been a superb start from the hosts. Played about half of this first half, and it really has been all the Jacks at Armadale. A couple of counter-attacks that have led to nothing, but little more than that. Here's a chance at another. Quigley looks to take on Warland, and Warland just karate kicking it back to his opponent. Now Armadale win a corner. Was Quigley there winning the corner. He actually scored his only goal of the season, was direct from a corner kick. And their 3-2 loss to Joondalup all the way back in round 4. The ball into the box there by Nazari. Doesn't clear the front post, and Zico had to win that, and Hodgson just not even attempting to pretend he didn't collect the Armadale man, just puts his hand up. Nice bit of honesty there from the Joondalup goal scorer. Possibly saving himself from a booking as well. It was a little bit loose. It's Armadale just throwing players forward now. I need to be careful with the likes of Hodgson and Brooks on the counter-attack. Nazari flicks it in, headed away by Cassidy. Comes back out to the edge of the box. Lifted in and headed clear by Riak. Here's the chance for that Joondalup counter-attack. Riak wins it down. Looks to play it over the top for Hodgson, but Nazari's read it well and he gets back for Sharrock. But you can see how quickly ECU can turn defence into attack. Need to be wary of throwing too many players forward on those set pieces. Knotted down the line by Jacobs, back to Nazari. In for Stenkvist, big header by Cassidy. Quigley looks to take on Riak, but just a big, strong frame of Riak. He loves to dribble and hold off an opponent. Here's Cassidy. Finds Warland. In for Hodgson. Back to Warland. Wonderful ball into the path of Higgins. His left foot strike at goal. The less said about the better. Rolls out for a throw-in. He was on the stretch, to be fair to the Jacks, number 10. As Zico takes his time to get back over to his left back position to take the throw in. Looks down the line over Jacobs. Doesn't quite make its way through to Stenkvist. Bodnar just got a toe in there. Back for Cassidy. To Lowry. Stings it into the feet of Higgins, who flicks it around for Brooks. Back to Higgins. So good at keeping possession this side. Of course, as soon as I say that, they lose it. And they'll get it back promptly at the feet of their goalkeeper. Perkins picks up. And looks to get things going quickly for Bodnar. Can't quite get it going as quickly as he would have liked, but finds a pass that he likes in the end, and Hodgson makes a nuisance of himself. Not giving Zico any time on the ball there at all. And now he gets a bit of time with the ball in his hands. Down the line, again for Jakobs, but ECU win it back and then give it away. Chance for Armadale here through Stenkvist. Stenkvist rolls it into the path of his teammate, but not able to get a ball into the box. It's well defended. Sara was the Armadale player there on the left wing, trying to get the ball into the box. Corner taken. Now Jakobs gets his head to it and cleared off the line by Johnny Perkins. It looked like that was destined for the top corner. Just didn't quite have the power on it. Ball back into the box. Flicked around by Jakobs. And it'll be a goal kick. Armadale just applying a little more pressure since the goal. They've arguably been the better team since going behind, but all that matters is the scoreboard. At the end of the day, at least, as Perkins plays it short for Cassidy. Lowry again, back for Hoff. For Cassidy, and Riak with a bit of space in between the lines. Looks out wide for Evans. Evans has Jaffray closing him down. Plays it inside for Higgins, who looks for Hodgson. Just has it nipped off his toes. And the clearance is onto the head of Stenquist and Cassidy's been winning those all day. But doesn't get that one exactly how he wanted. Out for an Armadale throw. Quigley takes the throw for Sara and gets it back. Big switch out for Nielsen. Nielsen looks to take on Bodnar, but Bodnar sticks with his task and prevents even a corner. It'll be a throw in for Armadale. Dangerous position. They keep the pressure on. It's been a really good response by the visitors. Sluggish start. Will they come to rue that? Time will tell, but since going behind, they've certainly turned it up a level. As Brooks plays it back for Higgins, who gets it back to Brooks. Hodgson can run, and Brooks will try and get him behind. Unfortunately for him, Hodgson had to check inside one too many times. And Armadale come away with it through Jaffray and now Nazari. Questionable decision to take a player on there, but he got away with it and then gave it away to Warland. Evans rolling it in behind for Brooks. Chance for him to stand up Irving, but Nazari tracking back, blocked out the cross. Jakobs finds Jaffray. Nielsen takes a heavy touch inside, too heavy. Allowed React a little too much of it. He's given away a free kick in the process. Armadale, another chance to throw players forward, get a ball into the box. They've already shown when they do get set pieces in this sort of range that they will send in the cavalry. Quigley, Stenkvist, Jakobs leading the line here. Irving getting forward, trying to see if he can get his head onto this. It comes towards Irving, just over him, and Warland's ball back into the box was ill-directed, but in the end, Perkins made it work, and now he's got a run. Sarah intercepts. Back for Nazari. Back for Sarah. And Jaffrey. Hassled by Riak. Wins the ball back for Joondalup. Brooks. Finds Higgins. He had Bodnar running wide. Opted not to play him, and in the end opts to keep the ball and plays it back for Lowry. Higgins again for Brooks. He looked to turn it around the corner for Bodnar. Gave it away, and then a couple of hacks at his opponent there trying to get the ball back, and free kick picked out by the referee. Armadale will get us restarted again. Lovely ball out with Quigley. Looked a lovely ball, just perhaps a little too much on it. Couldn't quite bring it in. There's Cassidy there, a little sloppy. Stenkvist nips in to take it away. Quigley now for Stenkvist again. Confronted by Riak, who does well to block the cross. Armadale throw. Quigley over to take. Sarah for Quigley, who was offside. Not a bit of play that John O'Reilly will be happy to see again, that. Just need a little bit more awareness. Perkins plays it wide for Lowry. These Joondalup centre halves loving to just drop deep and split on these goal kicks. They want to keep it on the deck, play it to feet. That's been Kenny Lowe's game plan since he came. It's what he wants to see, and it's really working at the moment for them. Riak for Hoff, for Evans. Back for Cassidy. Just had Stenkvist approaching him, but stepped inside and then curled it out wide. Bodnar dropping deep to play it back for Lowry. Now Higgins and Hoff. Riak just gives that one away. And Armadale can go forward now. That's a poor ball there from Jaffrey. And another chance for ECU. Brooks will look to get on the end of this. Ahead of Sharrock. Sharrock does really well. It looked like he'd come out prematurely. His kick was a bit of a hack, but he's got away with it. And in the end, he's done well, the Armadale goalkeeper. He had to come, and when he was out of his box, unable to use his hands, just leapt over Ethan Brooks, and that was job done, really. Clearance could have been better, but I'm sure he'll take it. The score remains 1-0. Higgins back for Bodnar, lobs it over for Higgins, has it nipped away from him by Nielsen, who keeps going. Looked to shape to shoot, but Riak just muscled him off the ball. Superb defending from Joondalup number 6. As I mentioned earlier, he's just such a big part of this midfield, just for reasons like that. He works so hard, and if he does occasionally win the ball or give the ball away, he's 99% of the time he's the first one to win it back. Armadale launch one towards Stenkvist. It's over his head. Jacobs lets it run. They come out wide for Quigley. There's a wonderful sliding tackle there by Hoff on Sarah, and he gets up and comes away with the ball. Finds Higgins, who gets it to Hodgson, and another wonderful slide tackle from Zico. He's done that a couple of times today. Really exciting fullback to watch when they're sliding in for tackles like that and timing it well. Quite an art to the old slide tackle, and Zico's certainly a fine exponent of it. Cassidy plays into the feet of Warland, who's got Evans running ahead of him. Decides to use that run as a decoy and come inside and loses the ball. Perhaps should have played the pass. Cassidy again winning the ball in the air. Down for Warland. And now Evans gets the ball at his feet. Can Fronted by Nazari, just plays it in behind for Brooks. He'll get there first. Ahead of Irving, but just as he juggles it, looks across and sees the linesman's flag in the air. Just didn't quite time his run. Sharrock comes out to take. One 0 to the hosts as just towering over Jack Option. Winning the ball there was Lowry. Another long ball into the box and missed by Lowry. Bodnar make a bit of a mess of it at the back there, Joondalup, but they get away with it. Hoff clears up into the air on the head of Quigley. How's his touch? Doesn't get one. Warland plays it for Brooks, dropping a little deeper now for Riak. Looks to find Higgins, but it's a poor pass and Nielsen cuts it out. Chance for Armadale now. Jakobs has Nielsen again ahead of him, but just caught in two minds there and didn't really do anything with the ball as Bodnar just shoves his opponent. Comes away with it. Good strength from Joondalup's fullback. Down the line, cut out by Ashwood, but it's over the line. It'll be a Joondalup throw. So heading towards the last 5 minutes of this first half. Good performance by the hosts, capped off by the Danny Hodgson goal. Cutting in on his right and curling it into the top right corner. Sharrock would have wanted to have done better with it. Did get a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. Warland with the throw. Stepping in front and winning it back and then giving it away promptly was Jaffray, but Brooks returns the favour. Nielsen looks in to the feet of Stenqvist. It doesn't get to him, but he makes up the ground and recovers the loose ball. Nielsen's touch is poor, allows Bodnar in, and he just sees it over the line. Higgins back for Bodnar. Hoff back to Higgins. Cleared by Lowry. Back in. Nielsen deflects back. Fired in off the post by Jakobs, and so close to parity there. Brooks plays it back for Hoff, and now perhaps Joondalup can go up the other end. Riak has Warland streaming ahead of him. He'll use him now. If he can get a ball into the box, he's got Hodgson there and not much else. Higgins was arriving, but there were about 5 Armadale shirts surrounding the two Joondalup forwards. So the corner probably a good result for the Jacks. Evans to take. So we head into the dying stages of this first half. A second goal here would be huge for the hosts. What can Evans provide? Oh, it's a poor cross in truth, but everyone lets it bounce and run, and there's a man down in the penalty box. Surely you stop the game here, ref, and he does now. I think Sara is the man down. The physio will come out and check on him. Or it might be Chad Nielsen, is it? It's, yeah, the number 11 for Armadale. Chad Nielsen down and taking his time getting back to his feet. Was well and truly off the ball. I don't know whether there was any contact or if it was just a pull of a muscle, but it doesn't look too good. You see, gingerly makes his way off the field. ECU will finally get us restarted after the stoppage. Hodgson looks to play it back for Higgins. It deflected, but he wins it back. Good tenacity by the ECU number 7. Joondalup win a throw. Hoff plays it back, and Joondalup come all the way back to Cassidy. He looks to play it into the feet of Evans, but it's cut out well by Sara. He looked to roll it into the feet of Jakobs, but it was behind him, and Lowry can carry it away. Here's Hodgson. Looks to take on Zico, but Zico wins again. He's once again been very solid in this first half. Tried to use that injury time to catch up on the scores around the grounds for you. I've finally got that information up. I'll give it to you shortly as Lowry and Nilsson, who's back to his feet and back out there. It's good news for Armadale. Takes on Lowry and gets past him, but doesn't get past Hoff. Riak taking that one on the half volley and just popping it up onto the head of Nazari. Had a bit of a job to do to take it down and dig it out of his feet and play it back to his keeper, who returns the favour. Back to Nazari. Riak closed him down well. That's just wonderful work from Riak, and coming from midfield all the way out to put the pressure on there. Higgins wins it back. Here's Evans looking to cut inside, but wonderful tackle, and Armadale set themselves on their way again. Here's Sara. It's just Joffre having a bit of an argument there with his teammate. He wanted it back. He did all the work initially to win it and set Armadale on the attack. He just wanted the ball back from his teammate Sara. Perth SC, it's the relegation group rather. Coburn City 0, Guelph Croatia 1. In the other game, Floreat Sorrento at 1-1. But here at ECU Football Stadium, the halftime whistle has just blown, and the score is ECU 1, Armadale 0. Stunning curler from Danny Hodgson, his 9th goal of the season. Jakobs came the closest up the other end for Armadale, firing off the right-hand goalpost. But it came back out and Joondalup cleared. So as it stands, full value for their halftime lead, the hosts. ECU Joondalup 1, Armadale 0. And welcome back to ECU Football Stadium for this second half as the goal scorer Danny Hodgson kicks us off. And the ball into the box, and what a start that almost was. Definitely contact to the head, it looks like, of Harry Evans, who's looks in a bit of trouble there, and Zico with his arms up. He has no idea what's going on, if you believe his body language. But Harry Evans is down within the opening minute. I was just about to complain how it didn't get to even give my welcome and introduction because the action started so quickly. I'll use this opportunity to do that now. I'm Sean Fry. I'll be describing the action for you. Welcome back, ECU Football Stadium. The hosts attacking to the right, wearing all red. The visitors, Armadale, wearing the black and red. They're attacking the left of screen in this second half. And ECU almost going ahead in the first opening seconds, but cleared off the line. A question of whether or not there was any contact to the head as that one flicks in at the near post, and it's in! And it is 2-0. They have scored. I'm not sure, was it Harry Evans? I can't tell who got the final touch. They are jumping all over Harry Evans as if he did get the touch, and it looks like he did. It is 2-0 now, and wow, what a start to this second half. I've barely taken my seat, barely got through my introductions, and all of a sudden the lead is doubled. So, and Harry Evans is back down holding his head. I don't know whether that says some form of black humour. It seems to be. He's back up on his feet. Certainly the knock that left him almost paralysed in the middle of the penalty area can't have been as bad as it seemed to be in the first case, but he has scored again. Scored 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned, from the spot with his first touch against Perth SC, and now he scored from a corner to double the lead in the first game of the second phase. Huge start to this second half of the match and the second half of the season. Here he is again. Harry Evans just leaving it behind, crossing it in the box, back post. Just, I tell you what, if he could have picked out the head of Hodgson, he was unmarked. Nazari had drifted away from his marker. But Armadale get away with one there. They could have found themselves 3-0 down. It was certainly fair to say on the balance of play in the first half that ECU deserved, well, fully deserving of their 1-0 lead, if not more. They've started this second half like an absolute house on fire. And that ball into the box over the head of Harry Evans. He's been involved heavily early. Zico just loves to put his foot through it. And this time it's well directed towards Stenkvist, but he misjudged it. Cassidy finds it at his feet and plays it for Warland, but he misjudges his turn. And Armadale can take a breather. I could take a breather. What a start. Okay. Quigley leaves the ball there. ECU Joondalup 2, Armadale SC 0. Flicked around the corner there. Cushioned back in to the forward area by Geoffrey. Nielsen plays it in the pass of Peter Jakobs. He just rolls it to the top of the 18-yard box where Riak clears. Sharrock's clearance is lofted and Higgins ends up with it. He's Bodnar. Splits a few Armadale shirts looking for Warland on the far side. His ball in behind to Evans is wonderful. Harry Evans has got a chance to make it 3. He totally mishits it and it rolls into the path of Danny Hodgson and he makes it 3. Well, I'm going to put my stall out here and say that that was a complete unintended pass to the back post. Harry Evans looking for goal, scuffs it. But Johnny on the spot, Danny Hodgson scores his second goal today and ECU make it 3-0. Well, this second half has started explosively for the Jacks. Armadale are stunned. Before they can even get a foot on the ball and take a breath, it's 1-0's turned into 3-0. What a performance this has been in the first half. It appears there has been a halftime substitution as well, by the way, just in the midst of all that. Callum Timmins is on for ECU. Not sure who the player is that he has replaced. It's not always obvious for us up here a long way away from the bench in the commentary booth, but I'll try and get you that information as soon as I can. I'll just have to do a little bit of maths and a little process of elimination to see who's still out there for the Jacks. Harry Evans certainly is. Here he is, just leaping to contest for that one with Zico. Zico judges at best, but can only win it out for an ECU throw. Nice little touch from Bodnar. Back to Higgins. Higgins looks to stand up Ashwood. He gets the ball into the box and Sharrock dives on it. Well, he would be absolutely furious with this start. Cyril Sharrock conceding 2 goals in the opening minutes of the second half. Not much he could do about either, to be fair. The first one he would want back, but it's Hodgson, the goal scorer, the 2-time goal scorer in this game. He's got 10 on the season now, into double figures. Well done, Danny. As Perkins finds Lowry. He's got Bodnar on the near side, decides to lob it over him. Zico does well to cushion that down. He's had a good game at left back. Hasn't put much of a foot wrong, but certainly his team has. They find themselves 3-0 down. Plays it back to Sharrock, who looks long in the direction of Stenqvist. And just attacking the ball and towering over him was Lowry. Filippo Giuffre wins it to Nazari. Armadale looking to attack down the right now. Had very little by the way of attacking impetus so far today. Patrick Sarah losing the ball there. And Cassidy curling that into Higgins, who just cushions it down unconventionally for a teammate and gets it back now. It takes a bobbling touch. Seems to have it on a string at the moment. Higgins just misjudging that one. Evans and Nielsen coming in to make the tackle. Deflecting back out off the ECU number 17 for an Armadale throw. Well, it has been the perfect start as Kevin Ashwood, the Armadale captain, just knocks that one back out for a throw. It has been the perfect start to the second phase of the season and to this second half of this game for ECU Joondalup. They are 3-0 up, 3 goals to the good. They went in at half-time with a 1-0 lead. And then Harry Evans scored from a corner. And then Evans involved again, getting in behind, scuffing his shot to the back post. But Hodgson arriving to do the damage himself. One of the players of the season for the hosts this year, Danny Hodgson. He has been absolutely tremendous. 10 goals now in just 12 games. Just giving Cam Teese a thing or two to worry about down at Sorrento. Another injury concern for Armadale. As we'll take a little look around the grounds. It's 1-1 at both our other games. Coburn, Guelph, Floreat, Sorrento. They make up the top 6. So the 6 teams fighting for this title. Zico clears that one out for a Joondalup corner. ECU corner, looking to make it 4. Can they make it 4? Ball into the box, is into a dangerous area. It's over the head of Cassidy, brings it down, looks to get it back into the box. He does, and Zico hacks his clearance back out for an ECU throw. Bodnar will wait. That one's on the roof. Can we send one of the kids up to get that? No, get one off the bench. The new ball back in the hands of Bodnar. Finds Hodgson. Back to Bodnar. Little dummy back to Hodgson. Wonderful bit of dribbling and lost it in the end. And just sidestepped around Ashwood and Nielsen there. Now Stengfist. Back for Ashwood. Holds off the pressure. The challenge from Hodgson. Does really well there. Kevin Ashwood. Loses the ball. It finds its way back to Zico, and that's a foul. Just getting across and body checking his opponent there. Zico finds Joffre. All the way across the other side, and Nazari looking to turn on the ball there is Quigley, but he loses possession. Here's Warland. And I'm going to have a guess. I think it is Ethan Brooks, the man that's made way at half-time. I told you I'd come up with the goods eventually. As Higgins holds off Ashwood. Just almost in slow motion there, the Joondalup number 10. Plays it back for Cassidy. Into the feet of Hodgson, who just turns it around deliciously for Higgins. He's closed down by Nielsen. Deflects back to Hoff. Bodnar. Higgins. Back for Hoff. Just turning back for Lowry. Lowry looks to loft it over the top in the direction of Danny Hodgson. Comes back down. Here's Harry Evans knocking it down, firing on goal and making it 4-0. Here's the substitute, Callum Timmins. Well, what a day this is turning out to be for ECU Joondalup. They are going from strength to strength in season 2020. The points reset, you would suggest, has come at the exact right time for them. They will lead the league, barring some crazy kind of drama at ECU Football Stadium or around the grounds. Coburn now leading 2-1 against Guelph. Floreat Sorrento still tied at 1. But the story of the opening round of the second phase is here at ECU Football Stadium. It is Kenny Lowe's ECU Joondalup. As I mentioned earlier on in this game, they started the season reasonably well and then fell in a hole with 3 or 4, I think 3 losses it was, on the bounce and a draw. And now, off the back of this, there'll be 6 games unbeaten. I'm pretty confident to say that I can't see Armadale scoring 4 goals in this final half an hour, but you never know. It was round 4, a 3-1 loss to the Glory. Club obviously close to Kenny's heart. That set them on their 3-game losing streak. Then they drew to Bayswater. And from then, round 8, 4-0 win at Rockingham. Round 9, a 3-0 win, a 3-2 rather win against Guelph. Round 10, 2-1 win against the reigning champions Perth SC. And then they wrapped up their season with a 3-0 win against Balcatta. And now the second phase, they are starting with a bang. Currently 4-0. You would not bank against Moore the way they're playing. It's not a stretch to say that ECU Joondalup are the form team in the NPL at the moment. This will be a 5-game winning streak, 6 games unbeaten, barring some extraordinary drama. It's Evans closing down Ashwood. They've just got a real spring in their step, the Jacks. Zico plays it back for Sharrock, who looks long down the line towards Nielsen. Bodnar wins that, but only as far as Ashwood. His ball there into the path of his teammate. I think it was Sarah. It was a good ball, but Nazari finds it at his feet, and his pass is poor. ECU can look to go the other way. Hodgson takes a touch and is collected by Nazari. Nothing doing by the referee, and Sarah can look to take on Riak. Has Warland as well for company. The latter wins the tackle, but concedes a throw. Warland looks to take on a couple, one of those being Filippo Giuffre. It's back off the Armadale player and out for a throw. Timmins, one of the goal scorers here today, fresh off the bench at half-time, firing it into the bottom right corner of the net to make this one 4-0 and pretty much put the result beyond doubt, you would think. Here's Friday's goal. Finds Ashwood, who gets his head up, takes a run and tries to play it into the path of his onrushing Sarah, but Cassidy just getting a foot in there and cutting that out. And ECU win a free kick in the following action. Riak will take it quickly, back to Lowry. Here's Higgins. Wonderful ball over the top for Hodgson. Hodgson will look to take on Nazari. Cutting back in on his right foot. He's already done that once to great effect in that first half. Just stepping past his man there and getting it back in for Higgins, whose shot was scuffed into the feet of Cyril Sharrock. It was Callum Timmins there that instigating that move. Been a good impact from him. Joondalup number 12 coming off the bench at half-time. He's been heavily involved, got himself a goal. Everything Kenny Lowe touches at the moment turns to goals. Brought Harry Evans off the bench 2 weeks ago and scored with his first touch to win against Perth. Brought Timmins off the bench in the second half here and scored with just about his first touch. They are really staking their claim as one of the front runners for this NPL 2020 title here. If anyone hasn't been standing up and taking notice of their form so far this season, they will be now. Certainly if they can knock another couple past Armadale, a deflated Armadale, they must be at this stage. Timmins taking it away and getting it to Hodgson. Took a deflection, but last touch was off a Joondalup player. Not sure if Kenny agrees there on the touchline, but Armadale will take the throw. They are hungry at the moment, ECU. They don't look like they're going to be taking the foot off the gas anytime soon. They want more. Higgins finds Bodnar. Back to Higgins. Spreads it back to Cassidy. Goes further wide to Warland. His crossfield ball is a little unconventional, but Bodnar made it work, at least for the minute. Zico just stepping inside Harry Evans. Wonderful composure there. Certainly been my player of the game for Armadale, Friday Zico. There's been few good performances to pick from, if we're honest, from the visitors. Here's Higgins, Cassidy and Lowry. How often have we heard that today? Just that ECU centre halves sharing it between them and then playing it into feed in midfield. This time it's Higgins. Curls it around into the path of Cassidy. Evans looking to time his run off the shoulder of Zico. Cassidy opts not to play the pass and gets himself into a bit of trouble. Here's a chance for Stenqvist, and Armadale can go forward. He's got Peter Jakobs on his left. He's got another teammate on his right in Nazari. He opts for the ladder, and Nazari gets there. Gets the ball into the box, but it's a poor cross and along the ground straight to the feet of Cassidy, who rolls it to Timmins, and Timmins turns and goes. Wonderful turn from the substitute and goal scorer. Here's Evans. Evans plays it for Bodnar. Little touch for Higgins. Oh, it was a creative attempt from the Joondalup number 10, just looking to backheel it back into the path of Bodnar. Raises a hand of apology. It's perhaps, in his eyes, a bit of a lazy one. Here's Warland looking for Evans in space. Zico doesn't get there. Evans to make it 2 for him and 5 for Joondalup. He's denied by Big Cyril. Good sprawling save from Cyril Sharrock, denying Harry Evans his second goal of the game. Lowry brings it down and plays it back for Perkins. He's had very little to do, Johnny Perkins, today. Watched one fizz off the post when he was beaten in the first half, but that was as close as Armadale have come. Lowry heads it back down the line. Here's the man that struck the post, Peter Jacobs. He's tackled well by Lowry. Helps him back to his feet. Exchanges pleasantries with his fullback. And Harry Evans' job is done today. He's certainly been the player of this second half. Looks like Tommy Hoff as well coming off. So Bailey Brown, Montgomery, one of the men coming on. Perhaps a chance for Kenny Lowe to rest a few players and give some minutes to some others that he might not otherwise have the chance to. It was Hoff and Evans coming off. Bailey Brown, Montgomery coming on. I didn't catch the second substitute. Once again, I'll let you know who it was as soon as I know. It's Armadale. Look for their first goal of the game. I don't think I'm going to have much luck telling you who the substitute was, because it's number 3 and there's no number 3 on the team sheet. So he will be referred to from here on out as number 3 until someone can tell me what his name is, as Armadale fire one over the bar. Joondalup can reset. Joondalup look to start out from the back. Cassidy back to Perkins, back to Lowry. Lowry goes back across for Cassidy. Back to Lowry. Has his fullback in space, opts to go further forward for Brown Montgomery. His ball inside is poor and cut out. Irving plays it in to midfield, and that ball too hot for Zico to handle. And here is the substitute, his first touch of the game. Sway it back to Bodnar. Lowry, all the way back to Perkins. Diagonal by Cassidy, it doesn't reach its target. Cut out by Josh Cortez. He's a recent substitute for Armadale. Perkins for Lowry. Into feet in midfield. It looks like Bodnar has moved central to take the place of Tommy Hoff. A little reshuffle. And the substitute, the aforementioned number 3, taking his place at fullback. Here's Lowry. Gets it back from Bodnar. Doesn't have a lot on down the line. Montgomery's made a run. He'll come out and contest for it now. And Cortez unable to keep possession for the visitors. Long throw by Brown Montgomery, looking for Hodgson. Back down the line. Good touch into the feet of Higgins, who can't hold it up. Looking to take on his man there is Jaffray, but can't beat three, and he fouls Hodgson. Just cool things down, but ECU want to go again. 4-0 now, the score. Hodgson made it 1-0 in the first half. Evans scored early from a corner. Not long after that, Hodgson tapped in again at the back post before Callum Timmins, the substitute, made it 4-0. As Warland just takes it off the toe there of his opponent and has Bailey Brown Montgomery just making a run down the line. Wonderful ball back into the path of Warland. Plays it on for Hodgson, and it'll be a hat-trick, and it's 5. Hat-trick for Danny Hodgson, 5 goals for the hosts. The Jacks are on fire here today. Arms up, questions being asked. Sharrock standing there asking questions of the referee. They've got Ashwood standing there with his arms out asking questions of the referee. I don't think there's much you can blame the referee for today, guys. This has been a thoroughly outclassed performance. Frustration just starting to show. And Hodgson may be making his way now. He's got the 3 goals and he's taking his place on the bench. So well played, Danny Hodgson. That has been a superb performance from you. 3 goals, job done. It is 5-0. And the question now is, can they get more? Ben Hinshelwood coming on there for the hat-trick scorer. Which doesn't leave me many options from the list of subs. It looks like it might have been Kian Hirrell, the substitute that I've got down as number 14, who may be wearing number 3. I am getting the nod from the man next to me. It is Kian Hirrell. Thank you very much. I'm sure he'll be glad to get his name on the broadcast and can stop referring to him as the substitute, number 3. Ball comes there into the feet of one of the substitutes there. Over the top to Warland. Headed away, out of bounds by Quigley. Yep. Yep, okay. We have just got our final clarifications. The number 14 is Ben Hinshelwood, who I had listed as Kian Hirrell. Kian Hirrell is wearing the number 3 and playing it right back at the moment. We've sorted that out. Not much left to sort out in this game. Apart from goal difference, there's not much left to play for here. 5-0. It is raining goals. So ball into the box as Armadale press for their first. Brown Montgomery just clears it down the line. Back to Sharrock, who clears into the middle of the park. Higgins in a race there with Cortez. Much nimbler and quicker, Josh Cortez. That ball Just long onto the head of Lowry, who deals with it comfortably. Here's Hirrell. Just plays it square to Cassidy, who again has time to look up and pick a pass in midfield. There's Riak. Can always count on him to put himself about, and in the end beaten on this occasion, but the ball into the box is ill-directed and out for a goal kick for Perkins. It is now 3-2, Coburn leading Gwelup, and Floriat Sorrento remains 1-1. So this really sets Joondalup on track for a real push at this title. Here's Higgins. Back to Lowry. Lowry's long ball forward for Brown Montgomery, takes it down well. Wide for Warland. He's got Higgins inside, opts back for Riak. Cassidy for Bodnar. And Lowry, who looked a long ball for Warland. It doesn't get to him. Well, it does eventually, off the head of Quigley. Takes on his man and beats him there. Warland, wonderful dribble, and the referee deciding there was no advantage there and pulling it back. Chance for their 6th goal of the day here, Joondalup. Higgins stands over the top of this free kick. They've scored 5 already today. What can they conjure here? Higgins whips it in off the head of Timmins and way over the bar and over the fence. This man there with the ball behind the fence, I'm not sure if he backs himself to be able to throw it back over. It's quite a high fence. He's taking the sensible walk around to the side of the pitch to throw it over the low fence. Anyway, on we get with it. Jakob's just dominated there by Riak in the air. Warland cuts it back and then gets it back again. Now Brown Montgomery via Warland. He's got making a run. Lovely ball there. Hirrell, another dangerous ball and just whipping across the 6-yard box as Jakobs just clears that one. It's Hirrell for Higgins. Bodnar back to Lowry, all the way back to his keeper. Joondalup just controlling the tempo now. Happy to see this one out. They'll push for another 1 or 2, I'm sure. Cassidy fires it there into the feet of Ben Hinshelwood. He can't bring it under control. Armadale will take the throw. Hinshelwood wins the header. Zico slashes at that one. Got a fair bit of leg spin on it. Cortez can't get there. Hirrell rolls it for Higgins, back to Lowry. Just wonderful passing triangles all day from Joondalup, refusing to just hit it long into the channels. Determined to craft it or play expansive balls like that to Bailey. Brown Montgomery keeps it in. He's got Zico for company. Wants to take him on, does so, but in the end, back out off the Joondalup number 9 for an Armadale goal kick. I've said it a few times already today. This is exactly what Kenny Lowe would have wanted at the start of the day to kick off this second phase of the 2020 season. Filippo Joffre taking a seat on the bench there for Armadale. Ben Lewis coming on for the visitors. Sharrock takes his time and eventually thumps it down the middle. Cassidy will win that again. You can almost prepare the script for those. He's done it so well today, Shane Cassidy. The few times Armadale have gone forward, either he or Lowry have towered over their opponents to win the headers. From back to front, it has been a 5-star performance. And they do lead 5-0. 3 for Hodgson, 1 for Timmins, 1 for Evans. That ball clears everyone, and Warland has a bit of green grass to run into. He just rolls it forward to Timmins. Needs a bit of help from Hinshelwood down the line. A little bit slow getting on his bike there. And then Armadale counter-attack. Warland shares it with Riak. Comes back in for Higgins. Bodnar operating in that number 6 position since the inclusion of Hirrell. And just dribbling like the ball's on a string there, Timmins. Getting it into the feet of it. Teammate who fires it into the path of Sharrock. Just gets his frame behind it. Not in any rush to pick it up. Hinshelwood, the man that took the shot there, eventually has to close him down. Must be instinctual for Cyril Sharrock to time waste, because he appears to be doing so even at 5-0 down. Cortez does well to win the ball back there. Ashwood looks to loft it there into the path of Patrick Sara. Clears everyone. Johnny Perkins, recently back into the team after his injury earlier in the season. It's exactly the type of game you want to get back. Not a lot to do. Played in last week's 3-0 win over Balcatta as well. And when you start stacking their recent performances up, in the last 5 games, they have scored 17 goals and conceded just 3. And that is a remarkable stat. 17 goals for, 3 goals conceded in 5 games is good for any side in the world. No one really expected them to be challenging for the title at the start of the season, but they're starting to wake up to it now. That ball cut out by Cortez, who has nothing on down the line, and in the end is rather panicked clearance, as he was closed down by Keon Hirrell. Riak back in for Bodnar. Another wonderful ball for Warland. Sensational. He's got Hirrell arriving back post. It won't get there. It's blocked. Really putting on the Ritz now, the Jacks. As Armadale look to go forward, but give it away to Bodnar again. It's been very good today. Hard to pick a player of the game for ECU, such has been the performance. Hard to go past the hat-trick scorer, of course, Danny Hodgson, with his 9th, 10th and 11th goals of the season. 11 goals in 12 games. What a year it's been for him. Few sitting next to me saying he should have 25 goals this season with all the ones he's missed. And Timmins flicks it over. Brown Montgomery can't bring it under. Cleared by Quigley. And both teams seem reasonably content to run the clock here. Not a lot of intensity left at 5-0, but can they make it 6? Timmins just losing possession there. That ball for Cortez. Hirrell interested in the ball for Zico. He does really well. You can always trust the substitutes to still be putting themselves about in these games that have been all but decided. Jakubs over his head. Wonderful dribble there from Riak. He's given it away though. Needed to release a little bit earlier, but Ashwood's ball is ill-directed, but Nazari retrieves. Looking for the feet of DeFreitas. Finds him now, but he flicks it around the corner. His substitute. Perkins takes it early for Lowry. Back to Cassidy. And into the feet of Riak, who again can turn. Took a little bobble, but loves to just run and hold off a man. So he does so there. Just waits for Jacobs for company. And gee, Joondalup had numbers there streaming forward, but they've lost possession. Thundering tackle, wins it back. Towed it back into the path there of Hinshaw, but he can't control it. Brown, Montgomery and Zico having a few words. He's cannoning into the back of his opponent there, Bodnar, not giving away a free kick. And Armadale with a chance here through Cortez. He's got to take on Hinchell, and Hirrell rather, and Hirrell comes out trumps. Carries it away. A lot of space in front of him. Things opening up now. Brown, Montgomery with Zico to take on. Can't do so. But Zico a little bit lazy there, and he did well on the first instance, and then, just a cheeky clap in his face by Bailey Brown Montgomery. Just did so well on the initial contest, and I think he just thought the job was done and he could just ease the ball over the line, but the Joondalup youngster was having none of it. Took a touch and he was hacked down. A clear free kick and a chance to hit Armadale for 6. Ball into the box, cleared by Jacobs, back out as far as Hirrell, and here's a chance. It's a 3-on-1. Riak has got DeFreitas, Cortez, and one other on the far side. Goes to Nazari. Nazari fires and saves to keep this day perfect for Joondalup by Johnny Perkins. Welcome back, Johnny. Well, it would have still been a wonderful day, but it would have just been a wonderful day with a stain on the clean sheet. There's still a chance, and another save from Perkins, and another save from Perkins. Back out to Cortez. Doesn't know which way to go. Back to Jacobs and Johnny Perkins. Well, I said he hadn't had much to do today. He certainly has now. 3 point-blank wonderful saves to keep this at 0. Joondalup still have 5. Well, he hasn't had much to do, but it's when you see passages of play like that that every Joondalup fan, player and member of the coaching staff will be so glad to have Johnny back between the sticks. Here's Timmins. Hinshaw ahead of him. Warland inside him. Goes himself initially. Cuts back inside Quigley. Finds Higgins. He might want to tee one up. He does. Blocked there by Ben Lewis, the substitute. And Armadale give possession away far too easily yet again. It's been the story of the day. They have just not been at the races at all, it's fair to say. Not a performance John O'Reilly will be singling out for much praise at all. It's Riak finds Warland. Hinshaw, Timmins, Higgins and Brown Montgomery streaming forward. He opts for the ladder. Zico getting there in front of him. And Armadale do get a chance to clear, but the pass is poor, and Riak cuts it out again. Warland, back foot, into the path, and a penalty for the tackle on Timmins. And here is the chance to make it 6. Timmins picks the ball up himself. He wants to take it. A late penalty. 2 weeks ago, it was Harry Evans jumping off the bench to knock Perth SC out of the top 6. Now, it's Callum Timmins looking to knock Armadale for 6. And he does. ECU 6, Armadale 0. It has been just a delightful performance. And they just keep putting cherry after cherry on top of the cake. Not long left in this one now. It is ECU 6, Armadale 0. The final whistle cannot come quickly enough for the visitors. They are being put to the sword. As looking to play it into the path of Nazari from the kickoff is De Freitas. Flicking over his head and running is Timmins, who now has 2. A wonderful strike just as he came off the bench earlier, and then that penalty there for his second of the game. Danny Hodgson has 3. He's getting a well-deserved rest on the bench. Harry Evans has the 6, and there is the final whistle on a day where ECU Joondalup have hit Armadale SC for 6 on their home ground. A stunning performance from the hosts. Started in the first half. Danny Hodgson curled one into the top right corner, cutting in onto his right foot, and then things exploded at the start of the second. Harry Evans turning in a corner, and Callum Timmins jumping off the bench to fire one in from range before Hodgson scored 2 more to go 5-0 up, and then Timmins won a penalty, converted the penalty to make it 6. Take note, the WA NPL, ECU Joondalup are the real deal this season. It ends today, ECU Joondalup 6, Armadale SC 0.